Chair, the whole team from our side has finished with introductions. I wanted to indicate that we have 2 meetings going on, Chair. The other members of ZRA are in the other committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Acting PS. I was told that CG is the budget and planning and be joining us as we proceed with our deliberations. Acting PS, let me confer with immunity with your team in accordance with Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, which gives you immunity as you make submission before this honorable committee. However, let me also make mention that the same law can work against you if you willingly intend to mislead this committee, as it were. So PS, with that said, and that you are conferred with immunity, I'll ask you to proceed and make your submission under paragraph 37, Zambia Revenue Authority. Thank you. You can proceed.
I thank you, Chair. I'll proceed with making the report under paragraph 37, Zambia Revenue Authority. I have the memorandum to the Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General on the accounts of the Republic for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. Chair, before I make my submission, I wanted to bring to your attention that one of the items in the report that is before your committee for presentation under query P, questionable settlement with Prestige Motors Limited. This matter is before the Courts of Law, Chair. We have indicated to the Auditor General's office on this issue, and we'll need your guidance, Chair, in terms of how we proceed when we come to this matter. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Controlling Officer. Maybe from your perspective, and ZRI, when did you learn of that this matter is before the Courts of Law? I've seen your letter is 12th November addressed to the Office of the Auditor General. Then you have another letter coming from CG on the 12th. When did you learn that this matter is before the Courts of Law? Because this letter, I think it should be, was it done on Monday? When was 12th, Clark? 12th, what was that? Was it a Monday? It was yesterday. It was done yesterday. Why? When did you learn that this matter was before the Courts of Law?
Chair, I will ask the Commissioner to just provide some sort of highlight on that one.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, the authority knew at the time that the proceedings started, which is about 2 to 3 months back. However, we only brought it to the attention of our principal when the matter came up that we needed to present this to appear on the same item before your committee, at which point we noted that there might be a challenge having to start discussing that when it's an item that is before the courts submission.
AG, if we can make clarification.
Thank you so much, Chair. My report was done on, submitted on 30th of September. And before that, we engaged with the ZRA, both in writing, and also they did come to my office. This matter was never brought to my attention that it was in court. Because at that particular point, if it was brought to my attention, then perhaps we would have known how to handle it. I'm just learning about it now, this morning, that the matter is in court. So, Chair, I'm at a loss.
Thank you, AG. Minister, Zebra, that's why we asked you when you learned of this issue. Because from your letters, you're just being reactive. We don't know why you saw it fit to keep this information and write yesterday. Your memorandum is 12th Minister of Finance, your letters are yesterday. For us, this is a lame excuse, because you should be aware that you've got a matter before the courts of law. Where's your legal person from ZI?
Chair, they are not in this meeting. I believe they could be in the bill meeting.
Yeah, because which means maybe your legal department is not doing their job. They should know and advise the CG that we've got this matter before the courts of law. You had time to answer to these queries. You had interaction with the Office of the Auditor General. So why didn't you mention? Because this is just a procedural issue. You mention, then AG guide, okay, this is how we're going to tackle this matter. Then it comes at the day we are sitting. Colleagues, I don't know if there is any intervention. Honorable Farari.
I think the excuse that is coming through the controlling officer by ZRA is unacceptable. It's unacceptable in the sense that I think you knew all along that the Auditor General was trying to understand this transaction about Prestige and how you started paying other third companies. We want to know. Actually, as a committee, we are most interested to know and understand your decisions. As mentioned in the reports, we want to understand what you are really doing. Now, for you to come in the last minute giving us a letter, we are failing to understand, and we are not going to accept it. You have to explain to this committee what really transpired on these transactions. We want to know, and the public out there would want to know. These are public resources that are meant to help our citizens. So if people are going to sit and connive somewhere and come up with payments, then we can't accept. The Public Accounts Committee is unacceptable, and we are not going to accept it. Further, Chair, we want to know who is in court. Is it ZRA or the two warring parties? We want to know, and evidence must be provided under this committee to show that this matter is ruled in court, failure to which we are going to proceed, and they have to answer us and to tell us what was transpiring at ZRA. I submit, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Olomai.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think as submitted by Honorable Mfalari, the query regarding this matter is not something which can threaten ZRA if we are to discuss it, because it was an issue granting this company acting under this authority on 7th November 2012, the Minister of Finance and the National Planning granted Prestige Motors Limited a 12-year waiver for motor vehicle assembly in Zambia. So I don't think, Mr. Chairman, it is an issue which can threaten ZRA or Prestige Motor Vehicles, because this is an issue which is in public domain. So I don't think it is really an issue which should threaten them. And also, like Honorable Mufaladi has stated, and you also, Chair, that this matter was only brought to the attention of Auditor General yesterday. So really, as a committee, and this issue being before us, I think we'll proceed to interrogate it. I submit, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, colleagues. And ZRA, I think you are not providing us with an answer. Honorable colleagues, maybe I'll seek your indulgence that CG comes with his legal team or whoever is from the legal department. We can proceed, and PS can make submissions. Then when CG comes and they go to let them come and explain why they conducted themselves like that, then now we have a position already. Then now we can proceed, so that we have it from the CG. So PS, you can proceed. We'll bank that for now for a bit. Clerk, take note that when CG comes in, we need to look at that matter quickly, then proceed.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, committee members, for your guidance. I'll proceed to present the report. Chair, with your permission, I'll go straight to the first item, which relates to audit of annual performance budget against actual collection as the issue. In this issue, Chair, I'll go to the issue under query is budget against actual collection. In the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year ended 31st December 2023, a total provision of revenue 103,155,691,867 was made against the amounts totaling 100,623,749,975 collected, and this resulted in under collection of 2,531,941,892. The management response, Chair, to this is on page 3 of the report. The Auditor General's observation is noted. The following are the reasons for the underperformance of company tax, mining and mineral royalty tax. In 2020, by 8.6% from a contraction of 4.7% in 2022. Copper production declined to 697,790,312 metric tons from 763,287,15 metric tons. This was attributed to operational challenges at some major mines and lower mineral ore grades. Further, there was a reduction in copper production by one mine in 2023 from 146,279.92 metric tons in 2022 to 134,820,533 metric tons, while that of another mine reduced from 242,451 to 913 metric tons in 2022 to 41,223,306 metric tons in 2023. Bullet 2, there was a decline in the average copper prices on the London Metal Exchange from an average of 8,813.389 to 4,800 in 2023. Chair, there was also non-payment of tax liabilities by one mine, which amounted to 431,237,186.56. Another mine amounted to 382531,323.45. And the third one amounted to 78,223,636.77. The above companies cited cash flow challenges as the main reason for non-payment of tax liabilities. I thank you, Chair.
You can proceed, PS.
The next item, Chair, members, relates to the issue around compliance with legislation and regulations. Query is around payments not accompanied with tax returns. On this issue, Chair, the management response that we have prepared to this query is that we have noted the auditor's observation. The following are some of the reasons why there's a variance between returns and payments made for each of the tax. VAT returns. The OAG 94,681 payments had accompanying returns filed for the same period of the payment. 2. Excise duty and oil marketing company OMC VAT. Chair, I would like to present that to file an OMC VAT or excise return, taxpayers are first required to generate recording certificates. However, in 2023, the tax online system developed a technical problem where taxpayers were not able in the oil marketing company accounts. As a result of this, they could not file their returns and were thus asked to only make payments but submit the returns once the problem on the system was resolved. Chair, I'd like to report that the problem has been rectified. 3. Mineral royalty. The observation by the OAG, it has been observed there is generally low tax compliance artisanal small-scale miners. This is due to the informal nature of their businesses. However, the authority has put in place measures to remedy the low compliance, some of which include we have established a dedicated mining department with a staff complement of 77. 2. Enhanced data analytics and application of compliance risk management. Bullet 3. Taxpayer engagement meetings have been held and education on the requirement to be compliant has also been done. So we have been undertaking familiarization and verification to mine sites for mineral processing plants across the country. On pay-as-you-earn, government ministries and departments are the majority of the taxpayers that did not submit returns despite the various engagements and workshops held to remedy this non-compliance. These accounted for 1,734 out of the total extraction. For instance, letters have been sent of the need to submit. Workshops organized submitting the returns have been done. Submitted the returns due to their technical or system challenges. A check on sampled taxpayers indicates that 32 taxpayers had submitted their returns since these exercises began. The authority has continued to investigate the contract taxpayers that made payments without corresponding returns. It should, however, be noted that over 90% returns have been submitted and that in the following circumstances, a taxpayer may make payments without filing returns. 1. Advance payment. Payment made in the period preceding the actual tax period in which the return is due. Bullet 2. Payment for penalties and interest. Bullet 3. Assessment. Bullet 4. License fees. The authority has, however, put in place the following measures to ensure taxpayer is filing returns across all the tax types that we have highlighted above, Chair. We are also doing identification and registration of dormant taxpayers and new filers meeting the registration criteria. We are ordering publication of due date reminders before and after due date in the print media and other platforms. Identification of non-filers immediately after the due date. Stations to follow up. There is also transmission of reminders through bulk emailing, text messaging before and after due date. Working tax file their returns. Also, an exercise to block non-filers being paid their VAT refunds. We are implementing smart invoicing system on all eligible taxpayers. This process is expected to improve tax compliance by giving ZRA oversight on all invoice transactions as well as traded stock movements. We are also implementing electronic tax certificate (ETCC) and expanding the range of transactions on which ETCC is mandatory. Chair, I'll move on to the next issue.
Maybe just guidance, PS, before we proceed. I didn't want to interrupt you. On your right side, there's a bottle of water. As and when you feel you should take water, you can pause and take the water. And as you proceed, on a particular query, mention the amount involved then proceed and give your management response as it were, so that also on verbatim and recording, they can know what we're talking about in terms of value and what is your response. You can proceed as guided. Thank you.
Noted, Chair. On the next item, which was cited, is failure to act against taxpayers who abused VAT deferment scheme. In this one, Chair, we note that in the report of the Auditor General, there is a total loss amounting to 1,260,147. So the management response, Chair, is that the auditor's observation is noted. We have taken note of the 14 suppliers with that estimated value of 1,260,147 as identified by the Auditor General. We wish to submit that we have since commenced the process of issuing assessments and collecting the lost revenue from the enforcement unit. The next item, Chair, relates to failure to pay taxes by some oil marketing companies. In the data declared by Tazama, we note that there were 1,449 uplifts by 45 OMCs, and the total tax payable was 82,876,258, Chair. And I think it's broken down in 45.3 million. The motor excise duty here maybe is around 37.5 million. The total being 82,876,258. In our response, Chair, we have noted the auditor's observation. We wish to report that it is standard practice that for any uplifts to be made from Tazama, clearance must be obtained from the Zambia Revenue Authority. This is done in an effort to ensure that all companies uplifting from Tazama are known by the authority and taxes are accounted for. In quarter 4 of 2023, it was observed that a few taxpayers uplifted without clearance from the authority. Hence, it took time for the authority to detect and clear the uplifts. For some of these uplifts were detected, there was a system downtime during the period 2023, and thus taxpayers were unable to file returns. These taxpayers were advised to make payments and demand notices were issued. Tazama is now operating as an oil marketing company, and in 2023 they still had residual crude oil in the pipeline which was still being supplied to our oil. Tazama had crude oil in the pipelines. In the next query, Chair, this is failure to collect VAT withheld by oil marketing companies. Our review of the returns for the accounting periods ended December 2023 revealed that 20 OMCs withheld amounts totaling 279,90,007. However, only the total amount of 38551 was paid. So there was a balance of 2,415,492, which remained unpaid as at 31st August 2024, according to the Auditor General. This observation, which is well noted. So we note this observation, Chair. Section 842 of the VAT Guide of 2021, it states that the oil marketing companies or OMCs, the due dates for return submission and payments of OMC VAT are as indicated in the table below. The uplift period being 1st to 10th the return date is 15th of that month, and the payment due date is 15th of that month. If the uplift period is between the 11th and the 20th of the month, the return due date is 25th of that month, and the payment date due date therefore is also 25th of that month. If the uplift is done on the 21st up to the last day of a month, the return due date is 5th of the following month, and the payment due date is also the 5th of the following month. Chair, from this, taxpayers OMC VAT returns for each of the above return periods to accompany the return in the correct tax period. All things being equal, it is expected that for each of the tax period, the return amount should be equal to the payment amount. Our assessment or investigation of the showed that in the report, in each respective period, to incorrect return amounts. For instance, one OMC made payments amounting to 53,788.15 and 110,573.22 for the tax periods 11th to 20th July 2023 and 21st to 31st July 2023 respectively. The OAG captured the return amounts as 331,074.83 for each period, when in fact the correct return amounts were 53,788.15 and 110,573.22 respectively. The return amount used by the OAG, which is 331,074.83, was actually returned amount for the period 1st to 10th July 2023. Likewise, it was the approach adopted for the other sampled taxpayer in the analysis of the OAG report. We have since brought this to the attention of the OAG's attention, and we await feedback. There is a schedule that has been attached under Appendix 1, documents for the correct return amounts for the sampled taxpayers. Chair. The next query, Chair, is regarding page 9E, regarding failure to collect withheld VAT from agents. In this one, Chair, it was observed that in the period under review 2023, VAT agents filed in withheld VAT returns amounting to 2,912,709,373. However, only a total of 472,600,643 was paid, leaving a balance of 2,440,098,730. It was also noted by the auditors, Chair, that 5281 agents.
Just a correction, I think that's it's 2 billion, eh?
Yes.
Not million.
2,709,703, and only an amount of 473,610,643 was paid, leaving the balance of 2,400,098,730. And it's also further noted that about 5281 agents delayed submitting VAT returns for the period under review, ranging between 18 to 2,559 days, and penalties were not charged from defaulting VAT agents. Chair, the management response is that the auditor's observation is noted. ZRA reviewed the matter and established that the returns and payments for 4 sampled taxpayers from the OAG's extraction for tax period 2020 to 2023 revealed that the return declarations captured by the report seemed inconsistent. It was observed that the OAG was picking a single return amount in a tax period and replicating it over a number of different tax periods for the same taxpayer. It should be noted that taxpayer may file multiple schedules in a single tax period. Similarly, the payments were picked using the same approach, leading to the understatement of the payments. We have brought this to the attention of the Auditor General, and then we await feedback. Therefore, the total reported variance that was extracted and verified between returns and payments for the 4 sampled taxpayers of 1,703,817,698.69 as outstanding in the report of the OEG against the actual balance, which was verified as 54,648,405.60 overpaid. Schedule 40 is attached to this report. The authority acknowledges the delayed submission of the returns by withholding agents and has put in place the following measures. Bullet 1. Enhance taxpayer engagements and training in the management of withholding VAT. Bullet 2. Some stations in the southern region embarked on smart pay onboarding exercises to improve filing and payment compliance. 3. Implemented the exemption of withholding VAT between agents and on transactions between agents and large taxpayers as highlighted in the notice, which has been highlighted as Appendix 7. Implementation of the smart invoice will ultimately phase out the use of withholding VAT. I'll proceed, Chair. The query noted in the report of the Auditor General related to internal control weaknesses under page 10 is failure to automate refunds of VAT and customs taxes. We have noted the report has indicated that despite the authority paying the full contract sum of 3,595,351.1, the authority had not been utilizing critical developed modules of this system, such as the audit refunds, investigations, and debt recovery. Chair, the management response is that the auditor's observation is noted. The authority has been using the refund module to process the e-refunds since 2021. However, Chair, challenges were faced in the implementation of the refund module for VAT refunds, and the module was thus suspended for VAT refunds. These challenges, Chair, members, have since been resolved, and the refund module is now in use for VAT refunds effective 1st March 2024. With regards to the customs, the development of refunds module is earmarked for 2025. To Appendix 8, that gives more information regarding this matter. The other issue noted in the Auditor General's report, Chair, which is related to failure to account for variance between accounts balances on tax online and debt stock balances maintained in Microsoft Excel, notes that there are some issues highlighted because of this. We note that the report talked about an unreconciled debt stock of 81,487 81.487.5 as positive debt, less 12,939 as credit stock, giving a net stock of 68,548.6. The table below outlined the observations in terms of the variances.
You can proceed.
We note, Chair, the management response to the observations of the Auditor General. We have noted the Auditor General's observation. We report that the difference is arising from the legacy transactions which were not captured on the system. The 19,241 taxpayer tippings provided in the total number of tippings worked on from July 2019 to 31st December 2023. I'll read that again. The 19,241 tippings provided is the total number of tippings worked on from July 2019 to 31st December 2023. It does not actually just relate to 2023. It's cumulative from 2019. These tippings transactional data have been fully reconciled and signed off with correct balances sitting on their respective account statements for each of the years. Of these tippings, 8,441 have been fully migrated to the new system, the Tax Online 2, while the identified 10,800 are indeed pending full migration to Tax Online 2. This has been in some instances due to some technical challenges in the process of migration. Notwithstanding this, the following actions have been put in place to ensure that these are fully migrated. The 10,800 tippings have been assigned to our data quality office to commence the migration process, which we envisage will be completed by the fourth quarter of 2024. Further, Chair, some tippings from this batch are already sitting on the migration platform, waiting for final approvals and migration. It is important to highlight, Chair, that as of December 31st, 2023, there were 10,800 taxpayer identification numbers that had not been migrated. However, it is crucial to also note that these tippings were fully reconciled, meaning that all debt management activities were being conducted using reconciled data. Both our debt reports and enforcement actions rely on period-wise statements extracted from the reconciliation module for legacy periods. Consequently, even without migrating these balances to Tax Online, the debt position for affected tax account is updated. Thus, all back office functions remain fully updated as we have been working on this in terms of reconciliations and ensure that the reconciliations are approved. Tax Online 2 has been unable to extract a debt stock listing, hence the need to compute the debt stock manually. The debt stock has been extracted manually for the years 2021, 2022 and 2023 positions. The following methodology has been used consistently for the periods stated, which are 2021, 2022 and 2023, and composed the position availed to the Auditor General. Extracted legacy taxpayer account liabilities from all legacy systems from the period-wise statements for the period 30th November 2019 and verified to ascertain the accurate outstanding liabilities for the legacy period. We have extracted data for all taxpayer liabilities and payments from Tax Online 2 for the periods 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. Data cleaning and attaching of additional taxpayer identifier variables of interest such as broad sector groupings, age, categorization of taxpayers by government, parastatals and private sector is also being done. Further, the following has been done. TO2 liabilities were matched against payments to fetch outstanding balances, which were then added to the legacy liabilities to determine the total outstanding inland debt stock. The customs debt was then aggregated to the established inland taxes position to come up with the total debt stock. customs debt arose from transactions that were assessed but not settled on a SCUDA node. Taxpayer liabilities were sampled and compared with the tax online 2 account statements to find whether the physical compilation. However, the following challenges on the tax online 2 were observed and have been observed previously too, hence not relying on tax online 2 account balances. The extract from tax online 2 was picking all the amended provisional retained figures as opposed to picking the last amended return, resulting in overstating the income tax liabilities. The team picked OT pins for the income tax accounts that had more than one provisional return and checked both the ledger and the actual returns on tax online 2. The last filed provisional returns on final returns were picked as the correct liability against the payment and accounted for payments, especially resulted in a credit position. Therefore, the compilation zeroized the credits to reflect a true picture on government agencies, while tax online 2 account statements reflect these credits. These were identified and stated as challenges in the compilation report. Development of enhancements to debt management module on tax online 2 to reconcile legacy data is underway, and it is expected to resolve the debt management issues being faced. Chair, the next issue is failure to approve and validate tax returns. The report highlighted that 265 tax returns with the tax amounts payable totaling 1,055,890,427 were submitted between January and December 2023. The auditor noted that as of 31st August 2022, the tax returns were still pending assessment and approval, and that no such tax liabilities had been created. The management response chair is that the auditor's observation is noted. After doing an internal investigation and assessment, it was observed that some of the tax returns were incomplete and pending approval or validation status due to system challenges. This is largely attributed to failure by tax online 2 to automatically assign tasks to system users. Further, in some cases, assessment postings were initiated on tax returns but pending completion of the audit, whereas some of the cases were manually assigned to officers and have either been approved or are in process of being approved as the exercise is still ongoing. The system issue has since been resolved. All returns are now being validated and the assignment of tasks is now happening electronically or automatically. A roadmap towards resolution of all system challenges is in place, where all identified system malfunctions are tracked. Schedule 26 under Appendix 1 refers to the status of each sampled return. The next item, Chair, raised was non-collection of mineral royalty tax from companies exporting minerals. It was noted, Chair, in the report that records on tax online 2 revealed that companies and individuals that had filed new mineral royalty returns and obtained export permits but did export minerals such as copper, manganese, cobalt, invoice 19-382-322. The management response is that the auditor's observation is well noted. Section 90 of the Mining and Minerals Development Act requires that mineral royalty is chargeable on an established sale of a mineral or quarry. This sale may either be local sale or export sale. be deemed an instant sale of minerals. This may include instances where a company holds an auction sale abroad for gemstones and would still be expected to transport the minerals to destination where the auctions would take place while following laid down export formalities, which includes valuation of the minerals by the Geological Survey Department. Therefore, mineral royalty will only be due after the sale at the auction, and the declaration is expected in the following month after the month of sale. In addition, carrying on business involving processing of minerals, where mineral royalty may be expected to be paid by the supplier of that mineral. Where such persons export minerals, mineral royalty would not be expected to be paid, as it would have been paid by the supplier of the minerals which they processed. Further, some persons may have foundries where scrap metals are smelted to recover various minerals. These persons may buy scrap metal such as used motor vehicle batteries, geysers, steel from demolished buildings, among others. Minerals recovered from such would not attract mineral royalty, as minerals used to make these products may not have originally been extracted from within Zambia, or in other cases the mineral royalty would have already been paid. Further, samples of minerals may also be exported for analysis, especially in stations where the local laboratories may not have the capability to carry out certain types of tests. These samples are the normal export formalities from the Geological Survey Department. Minerals in these samples would not be accepted to attract any mineral royalty, since the export does not constitute a sale. The other issue relates to E on page 15, Chair, failure to confirm mineral content before finalization of exports. We note, Chair, that the issue was that, contrary to procedures, the Victoria Falls border post had no XRF machine, while at the Chirundu border post the machine was non-functional. So the Auditor General found that mineral exports were not inspected to confirm whether the mineral contents were in conformity with the valuation certificates issued by the Ministry of Mines and Development. The management response, Chair, is that the Auditor General's observation is noted. The committee may wish to note that Katima Mulilo does not conduct XRF scanning on risk basis to avoid traffic congestion at the border, since the trucks would have already been scanned at the inland processing stations where the exports are declared. For Chirundu, the XRF machine, which was not functional, has been repaired and is now functional. The authority has since resolved the issue and budgeted for additional XRF machines to be procured under the 2025 budget. The next issue, Chair, the audit documented for transits. In this issue, it was noted that 194 transit declarations with guaranteed amounts totaling 53,980,245 had entered the country through various ports but had not exited the country. The management response, Chair, I'll cite under the table the 7 stations that were cited, Chair, where the 194 transits were noted, the totaling 53,980,240. Page 16. Our management response is that the auditor's observation is noted. Zambia Revenue Authority commenced an intensive debt recovery exercise in November 2023 by garnishing bank accounts of guarantors who did not settle the demands for bond redemption on account of outstanding transits. The exercise has led to a collection of taxes and acquittal of outstanding transits amounting to 14,628,509.09. The guarantors had requested for a period of reconciliation of outstanding transactions from January 2024. Following a tripartite meeting of ZRA, Pensions and Insurance Authority PIA, and Insurers Association of Zambia, ZRA has since resumed the process of garnishing following the expiry of the deadline of 31st March 2024. The next issue relates to imports not paid for. The auditor noted that 88 entries with declaration value of 15,891,463 were assessed and not paid for. There are 6 ports of entry that were cited in the table 6 with that amount. Our response is that the auditor's observation is noted. Zambia Revenue Authority is currently pursuing all owing taxpayers and has invoked the debt recovery tool of garnishing to compel owing taxpayers to settle their liabilities. The stations under the Customs Services Divisions were directed to submit valid tax liabilities on a monthly basis for the debt recovery unit to institute garnishing of the bank accounts. Demand notices and garnish orders are available for inspection, Chair. A number of the outstanding entries have been paid. The table below shows the current position in terms of where we stand on this matter. We have the queried, we have the paid so far, and current outstanding, which amount to be paid is standing at 13,158,854.26. Thank you.
Proceed, PS.
Thank you, Chair. The next query is relating to delayed completion of works on the tax online tool. The issue, Chair, there is that it was noted that the project was supposed to run from April 2022 to November 2023. The auditors indicated that tax online tool, the works were not fully completed. The management response relating to this matter, Chair, is that the audit observation is well noted. While the completion percentage are not at 100%, the authority has made tremendous progress stabilizing tax online system by ensuring that the project team focused on key processes, accounting for approximately the following critical modules on the system: the compliance module. The tax online system is now able to compute penalties and interest for late payment of refunds module. The refunds module has been operationalized, and new tax refunds can now be processed on the system. These are among the key things the project has been able to deliver following the establishment in 2022 to address the pending issues on Tax Online 2. Having delivered the key modules that were not functioning at the start of the stabilization works, the project team is now working on completing the remaining tasks that are expected to be shown on page 9. On page 19, weaknesses in administration of SAP, user accounts without access validity period. The user accounts in question share are 2,051. The management is that ZRA has since complied with the standards as accounts without the validity period have been given a validity period from Q2. In addition, the password life is limited to only 90 days, after which the password expires if it has not been changed, thereby securing the system. On the next item, which is related to tax invoice management system, the query is failure to consider EFD weaknesses from study tours. As guided chair, we note that the Auditor General cites the full project cost of 81,233,105.62, which was paid in full. So, when the query of failure to consider EFD weaknesses from study tours, the management response chair is that the auditor's observation is noted. There were good lessons that were learned from the study tours. The feasibility studies done provided adequate information for various mitigations put in place to operate the system, such as ZRA would not continue to bear the cost of the devices, but the responsibility would be transferred to the taxpayer, with ZRA accrediting and supervising manufacturers and distributors who were to supply the devices to the taxpayers. This was included in the EFD SI 33 of 2020 before it could be implemented. The project was to start with a few devices for free distribution to the taxpayers to kickstart the project and establish it. Since the software was proprietary and patented, the contractor was to operate an office at ZRA and offer second-level support, while ZRA offered first-level support in the process of transferring technical skills. This was implemented and resulted in knowledge transfer that was helping to keep the system running, and some large taxpayers supported by ZRA ICT team without second-level support from the supplier since the expiry of the warranty support. First-level maintenance strategy by ZRA ensured that there was knowledge transfer to ZRA personnel to respond to the possibility of high maintenance cost. The evidence of high cost of maintenance materialized when, during the renewal process of the second-level support, the contractor raised the cost of support astronomically. ZRA rejected the proposal and continued with in-house support to date without causing an operational crisis. The feasibility studies conducted provided adequate information to implement mitigation measures as follows. The project was to start with a few devices for distribution to the taxpayers to kickstart the project by reducing the cost of compliance for taxpayers and achieve public buy-in. The contractor was required to operate an office at ZRA and offer free repair and device services warranty. ZRA ICT were attached to the contractor with the objective of ensuring knowledge transfer to the device service and maintenance. This would enable ZRA to take over the responsibility of supporting taxpayers by maintaining the devices in working condition to ensure taxpayer compliance. Enactment of SI 83 of 2020 to transfer responsibilities of acquiring devices from ZRA to the taxpayers, with ZRA assuming the responsibility of accrediting and providing oversight of manufacturers and distributors. The SI also gave powers to transfer the responsibilities of supporting taxpayers by maintaining devices from the contractor to accredited manufacturers. D. V. Enhancement of the system delivered was done to include a feature if internet failed. It must be further noted that EFDs were available. EFDs was the available technology for fiscalization at the time, which required physical distribution of hardware to taxpayers registered for VAT. Drawing on various lessons, the authority has since implemented a system, a software-based solution that does not require installation of physical hardware at the client's premises. The implementation of the smart invoice was a national policy decision and was launched by the Minister of Finance and National Planning on 2020. More flexible to add more feature types to the source code. As at 30th October 2024, a total of 23,156 taxpayers are registered on the smart invoice, with 12,009 of these being VAT registered taxpayers, as compared to a total of 3,050 taxpayers achieved under EFD from 2018 to 2023. The next item relates to weaknesses in the administration of Zambia electronic single window, as well as failure to upgrade single window database. The management the database. The proof of concept and user acceptance tests were conducted successfully. However, further work could not be executed as there came the issue of a new national single window under development at Smart Zambia. The decision to co-develop the new system has been reached between ZRA and Smart Zambia under the auspices of the National Trade Facilitation Committee chaired by the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry. This project is expected to commence in 2025. The other issue relates to failure to integrate Forestry Department and ZAMRA with Zambia Electronic Single Window. The auditors noted that in their review that implementation status of the annual plan to link the Forestry Department and ZAMRA has 2023. Our response is that the auditors of as highlighted, progress was not made as there arose the issue of a single window. Smart Zambia. ZRA and Smart Zambia had to agree on a new roadmap with a single window, with a new single window. However, the final decision was recently made to co-develop. ZRA and Smart Zambia had to agree on the new roadmap for the current single window. However, the final decision was recently made to co-develop the new single window between ZRA and Zambia. government agenda. The next item relates to failure to upgrade the laboratory information management system. The auditor noted a few issues on this one. Equipment losslessness when doing live samples. They noted that the software meanwhile as element and cytometric currently being done were not mapped to the LMIS. Our response is that the auditor's observations are noted. It is acknowledged that the current LIMS equipment and systems require update or replacement. Computer equipment to establish total cost to help solicit funding. It is anticipated that the process to evaluate the LIMS replacement shall be completed within 2024. However, a backup of scanned images is kept. It must further be appreciated that ZRA took up the responsibility to maintain the system and software projects such as annual value chain project supported by donors. It is envisaged that the responsibility for managing the system will ultimately be transferred to the regulator when formed. The query relates to information. One item is failure to dispose of gazetted goods. The auditor's report noted that goods listed under Kitwe, Kasumbalesa and Ndola were not disposed of in good time within the required period. So the response that we have prepared, Chair, is that we have noted the auditor's observation. The motor vehicle at Kitwe under appeal, hence the disposal process was halted. Kindly refer to the attached appeal on the motor vehicle at Kitwe office and related documentation. I would like you to kindly note that there is a special committee of survey for the disposal of forfeited assets and stores constituted by the Secretary to the Treasury. The role of the committee includes approving the disposal of items forfeited to the state. The committee inspects forfeited items held by government ministries and agencies and directs the manner of disposal. The committee inspected forfeited goods at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, KKIA, and approved to auction. Approval to auction was granted. The goods at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport have since been auctioned. The committee is yet to travel to the Copper Belt for inspection of forfeited goods in the province.
Thank you, PS. Before you proceed to P, honorable colleagues, this is an issue we're discussing, and it's good that CG is here, and maybe probably CG, you can proceed and quickly just make introduction, especially just for the CG and the commissioner there. Then we can proceed now to look at this issue.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman and Honorable Members. I'm Dingan Banda, Commissioner General, Zambia Revenue Authority. Our apologies, we're appearing for the Planning and Budget Committee on the other side.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, honorable members. I'm Joseph Nonde, Commissioner Domestic Taxes at Zambia Revenue Authority.
Thank you so much. CG, there's a letter which was written by the acting PS, Madam Prudence Kauma, to the Office of the Auditor General yesterday over the item which we are just about to be submitted, the questionable settlement with Prestige Motor Limited, that this matter is before the courts of law. And also there's a letter which you wrote yourself, CG, also on the same date, 12th, to the Permanent Secretary, Planning and Administration, that is before the courts of law, that is in Kitwe and the High Court. And the question emanating from this committee is that, when did you learn of this? What time you had an interaction with the Office of the Auditor General? This particular item is in, so that adequate way to proceed, we were going to be guided. And also we did ask if your legal person is here, who's either misleading the CG or misleading the PS, we don't know. So we want to hear from you then, because the committee has a position over this matter. So I want to hear from you what transpired. Maybe CG, you can proceed. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Chairman and honorable members. As you know the procedure in terms of our responding to matters raised by Auditor Generals, and we make a response in terms of what is the status on the particular matter. And indeed, we did provide the response that is in the document that has been availed. And if you look at the response that we provided, including at the time, there is a recognition under the last section that the matter is still in court in terms of the issues that we had submitted. I think that was acknowledged in our initial submission. Now, of course, our team in the background sat down and to analyze in further context in terms of how the cases are proceeding at court versus what we submitted here, hence detailed output. But I'll ask our legal expert, the board secretary who is here, in observations that has to provide the submission and direct internal audit at high level. Board secretary, you can start. Maybe come where there's a mic somewhere.
Thank you. Maybe you can come where there's a you got my question or my submission. You've made your response, which is here. There's an audit process, and I think you did receive the management letter from our Office of the Auditor General, which you responded to. Some of the items were dropped, and some of these were escalated to the DAP then in the report. That's why we are talking about them here. And between that period, you had interactions. That was a submission from the AG to his office. And our question is that you had interactions. When you had interactions with the AG, was it mentioned that these issues before the courts of law, hence guidance on how we proceed? Because if that was mentioned, probably this particular item could have been set aside and could have not come before this honorable committee for discussion. I think that's where the issue is emanating. When was it indicated? Was it indicated when now you're coming to pack? Because these letters are for yesterday, 12th. I think that was the issue wanted to ascertain through your office. I don't know if your board secretary has come, or maybe you can, board secretary, introduce yourself and then proceed.
Honorable Chairperson, I'm Susan, Legal Counsel for ZRA. To the question raised, we did submit from the legal point of view as a department. We did share all the court documents. In addition, we also shared the report on the internal investigation which was conducted on this very matter, and also to just highlight that The matter has two angles. There's the Lusaka case, and that was closed. Then there's also the Kitwe matter, which is still active. This was previously shared, I think even last year, but for this year we did share in September, and also yesterday when we were trying to finalize, we still highlighted. Thank you.
Maybe, Chair, before she closes, the bottom line, like indicated, the documents, including the internal reports, were shared with Auditor General's office. I think that's the bottom line. Now, the issue that has come further, and additional information to what was already shared, that there may be this risk that we perceive if this issue is then debated in an open platform the way it's going. But the details relating to the case, all the supporting documents in terms of knowing that there's a court case, including the submissions that is in this, there is an indication here that the active court case is happening on this matter. So all these issues were shared with Attorney General, as indicated in the submit.
We can comment on that.
Chair, I think the issue is when we issued the management letter, I think it's important to note that at one point, like we are stating in the report, the matter was withdrawn. I think that's what we are saying in the report. And then, at a later stage, we issued this management letter to find out the status. So, what we are saying is, after we issued that, the ZRA should have come to us to say this matter is still active in court. That's what we are saying. I know that there was some document which was shared from the internal audit. In fact, most of the stuff we are picking it from the internal audit investigation. You see? Yes, that was shared. But after that, after the issues were, the other party withdrew and ZRA withdrew, we issued a management letter. We expected ZRA to come back to us before we finalize to say that this matter is still active in court. That's what we are saying.
Honorable Muller.
Thank you, Chair. To both, I think the Auditor General and TG. First of all, so who has taken who to court? And secondly, I think that, when the CG says all the court documents were submitted to the auditors, and the auditor is acknowledging, but which court documents were there? Is it for the current matter which they are saying it's in court, or it's the court documents that builds up the background that we are reading here? Because it seems there are two issues about the court. There's the whole matter which resulted into the 16 million and the garnishing and everything else, and then now there's what is being referred to as a current and active court matter. So which documents were to the auditors?
Thank you, Honorable Mfarari.
By controlling officer. There is no attachment giving us indication that there is anything that is sitting at the court. The whole submission does not actually give us any hope that there is a matter that is in court. This is your document, controlling officer, through you. There is no attachment whatsoever indicating any active matter in court. We have gone through your report. There's nothing.
Thank you. Honorable Lumai Zeda will come in. The board secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this matter is of interest before this committee. Looking at the $16 million settlement, because clearly this committee would be interested to see to it that this matter is resolved. Now, looking at how the issue of money is coming up, ZRA, you did your part, and from there we are told 8 million was paid US dollars for that matter, and there is a balance of 8 million US dollars. So it could be something in the corridors of power where people meet at a corner and discuss these issues. That's why you see this committee is insisting that we need to ensure that this matter is discussed in the committee, because if you say there's a court matter and the letter coming a day before you appear before this committee will take it that maybe there's something which is under the carpet. That's why we're insisting that this issue need to be discussed. I submit, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Maybe the board secretary answer that question.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. So the matter currently in Kitwe relates to the garnish orders, which is it's still related to the first matter where we had the $16 million settlement, because it arises from that. So it's the same matter, and just maybe for the benefit of the committee, it's the whole case in Kitwe started in 2019, but up to date is still ongoing. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Mparari.
Chair, we understand, and we have gone through their document. A point of correction to Honorable, the two payments were made. One using to, I think, these companies, and our interest really is to understand how all these garnishing orders were flying. But now you are now saying the matter in court is related to a garnishing order. We want to see what really transpired. You are saying garnishing order is what is making. I thought Ilunga and whatever, but no, we have more questions for you on this matter, and I think the earlier you come clean and clear to us, the better, because we are seeing something wrong here. 16 million was paid. $16 million greenbacks paid to two different individuals. I think we have a lot of questions, Chair. We have a lot of questions on this matter. Even questions beyond or not related even to the court issue, but we have questions on this matter. So where are the court documents, even in the submissions, that can give a clear understanding to us that this matter is active? Who is in court? And actually, that's why the question Honorable Miller asked, and we are asking, who is in court? Is it ZRA or the other companies related to the garnishing order pursuing, or it's ZRA that has been taken to court? I submit, Chair.
Thank you. I don't know if it's CG or if it's a board secretary to proceed and answer.
Board secretary can make the preliminary submission upcoming.
Thank you, Chair. Just to indicate that ZRA is also in court. They've been taken to court. We are a party to the action, and we are being represented to see to it that the authority does not incur any more liabilities, having discharged its obligation as per the court order. Thank you. Okay, so the parties in court are, so the actual cause number is 2019 HK 544. That's the Kitwe High Court, the civil jurisdiction. The plaintiff, you have Laura Resources Limited, Tunta Mining as the second plaintiff. Then the defendant is Prestige Motors Limited, and you have the Zambia Revenue Authority as the garnishee. Thank you.
Chair, I know it's a sensitive matter, and indeed it's a matter of public interest concerning that there are funds, public funds that were paid out in the sum of 16 million, like the honorable members have indicated. Chair, this is an issue that transpired over 7 years ago, I mean 6-7 years ago. Okay, I think that's one thing that members need to take recognizance. And when we came into these offices, we looked at this issue, came to our attention, and as management for Zambia Revenue Authority, we instituted internal investigations into what transpired on this transaction. What necessitated this? I think one of the key issues was that indeed there was this planned settlement of 16 million, and 8 million was paid to the party that was claiming. Before that was claiming, there was a garnishee order which resulted in the money being paid to another party altogether. And the party was claiming the balance of 8 million. When there was change of government, they came in and said, where's the money? So we said, that we paid them coming from. That's how we instituted in to the matter, which led to these issues. But like indicated, taking the balance of 8 million is still making a claim on ZRA. That's the situation which we're in. But in terms of reports, we do have, including internal investigations reports, if they were not attached to the documents here, this afternoon, for you to look at what the management do to address this risk that we have. But as we stand at the moment, there is this demand for 8 million, but as ZRA, our position is that we paid the full 16 million. But it's just the circumstances on how this garnish order was executed, leading to the ZRA having this potential ability of 8 million. Chair, that's where we are on this issue from ZRA side. I submit for guidance from your committee.
Thank you, Honorable Mwila. Yes, Chair, I'll still need the Auditor General to respond to my question I asked about which court documents were available to them during the audit. I really now struggling to know where the problem is, because the matter that is in court now was actually initiated in 2019, and the report, the audit findings have established that in 2019, when the garnish order was adhered to, the Prestige Motors started. So, to 2019 now I'm very parties. The problem, the authority wants to communicate, which they have not stated. Where is the problem?
Thank you, Honorable Mwila. Honorable colleagues, we break for 5 minutes. There's tea is ready. Then we'll resume and look at this matter. The PS and your team immunities. You can enjoy the tea courtesy of Madam Speaker, and then we will resume in 5 minutes. Then, honorable colleagues, you can remember. Thank you so much. Communities are going to